So you've stepped on the shoes instead of next to the shoes. So
you've stepped on the shoes.
See what we'll do is we'll move them closer, step on them again.
Hello everyone, this is Cm42TV that you are watching right now. And I'm here today to talk about my experience at Ring of Honor's Honor United Tour Edinburgh, or as it was pronounced many times last night, Edinburgh. Funny how that works. It's like all the Scottish places, you know, you get Edinburgh, Glasgow. I'm sure they pronounce Largs like Largs or something like that. I don't know, but we're here to talk about my first ever ROH show. Another thing, another event ticked off the wrestling bucket list. For me anyway, it's always been a dream of mine. Not a dream, what's the right word? It's always been a goal of mine, I suppose, to try and attend a Ring of Honor show. And I haven't, you know, literally sat down and made my wrestling bucket list. Maybe that'd be a fun thing to do, actually. What are all the things I want to do to be able to say that I have done as a wrestling fan? You know, things like going to WrestleMania, seeing a world title change, things like that would be on there. And honestly, being at an ROH show live would be on there as well. And now it's ticked right off the list as if it never happened, but it did happen, and I knew it. Little reference there that only some people will get. So yeah, back in 2009, 2010 sort of time, I discovered ROH and PWG was the first indie company that I watched. And I started watching independent wrestling and stuff and became a fan of all these different types of wrestling, because all I knew at the time was WWE and TNA and the older stuff like WCW and stuff. But in terms of newer independent companies, ROH was kind of like the main one that I'd watched. The HD net shows, the internet pay-per-views, which just, they still hardly work, but you know, they worked even worse back then, but they were still great. And back then, yes, it was more of an independent company. It had more of that sort of hidden feel to it. And it has totally changed over the years. It is still, you know, a wrestling company. It's still an independent wrestling company, and that is totally different from the WWE style of running things. Of course it is. And I'm sick of people saying that WWE isn't the best wrestling company on the planet. Of course it is. Don't be daft. However, it's nice to have different types of wrestling for, you know, to be able to watch and stuff. I was very lucky enough, the fact that ROH is now a big enough company that they can tour. I mean, they've toured the UK before, but, you know, adding more places to go to, I suppose. One of the places that they stopped was my hometown of Scotland. Not my hometown, my home country. I'm from Glasgow. I had to travel through to Edinburgh last night. And in terms of busiest weeks of my life, really good weeks of my life, this past one has to be up there. Nothing will ever top the second week of December of 2017, where I'm an actor, by the way, if anyone doesn't know that, where I was in a show for a week, and as soon as my show finished, literally a couple of hours later, I was on a plane heading to New York City, where I literally lived so many dreams, being in Madison Square Garden, outside of the Rockefeller Center, things like that. That always ranks at top of, you know, number one, best week of my life. But this one was pretty good as well, because I was in a show, I was acting in a show called The Last Days of Judas Iscariot. Had a wonderful time. Thank you to anybody who was there. It was a wonderful experience. And then yesterday was the first day that I was off. I wasn't doing that show for, you know, since the past couple of weeks or whatever. So instead of relaxing and chilling and nursing a hangover that I brutally had after going out and celebrating on Wednesday night, I decided to go to the ROH show, because ROH were in Edinburgh. Of course, as I said, it was a dream and it was a bucket list moment that I had to check off the list. I felt as if they're here, it might not happen again. I don't know. They could tour, you know, next week. I don't know, but you know, they might not. So I had to take advantage of it. And you know, when it comes to autograph signings and things like that WWE did, or even TNA did, you have to buy extra for it, and you have to pay like VIP tickets and whatever, and go in, you know, and go early, be a select number of people to go in and meet these people. Meet the wrestlers, meet your heroes or whatever. But because ROH is still that small company, it's big enough, you know, to have TV deals and great lighting, great production and great wrestlers and to tour, but it is still that smaller company. So literally, as we walked into the venue, all the roster are just there. They're just signing autographs, they're selling their merch and stuff, and it was so personal. I've been to autograph signings before that have been really personal, it's been really good. However, this one was another level. They're all there, the whole roster. The Cody's there, Hangman Page, the Bucks, Jay Lethal, Tanahashi, they're all just there, you know. Dalton Castle came out later on. Emma, Tennille Dashwood, as she's called now, which is a horrendous name, however actually quite a good wrestling name because it's so unique. She was there. A wee side note here, we all know she's gorgeous. Emma, she's gorgeous. Tennille's gorgeous. However, she literally walked past me. She's tiny, by the way. I'm quite tall. She's tiny, but she had so much makeup on, like so much. I've never seen makeup like that ever. So much makeup, but you know, I didn't really notice when she was there performing or whatever, but in the ring, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so I went in and I was like, well, we're here. You know, I came to see the show. I didn't come to meet people. However, I have to go and meet somebody, and of course, I had to go and meet the Young Bucks. I had to. I was there. The Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson, right there in front of me. I had to go and go and try and find them and go and try and meet them and whatever. So I went and bought my ticket. You did have to pay. That's fine. At least it's supporting them. I'd rather that than you go to somewhere else, you know. So I went and bought my ticket. The line wasn't long at all. I thought it would be long. It was longer than everybody else's, don't get me wrong, because they are the biggest stars in the world, arguably, right now, you know. I'm a big fan of Being the Elite, their YouTube show or whatever, so, you know, I guess that added to it. I added to my anticipation to go meet them. I was standing in the queue, and there was a guy in front of me that needed somebody to take a picture for him, so I took the picture for the guy, total random guy. And then it was like, gave him back his phone, and I was already there, I was standing right in front of them, so I just went and met them anyway. I probably could have done it for free if I'm honest, but it's fine, I didn't mind. Part of, you know, buying the ticket to meet them, you got an 8x10 personalised. So here it is here. This is my 8x10 that I got. I don't really go to, you know, autograph signings, so these things are kind of cool for me. I don't really get them very often, you know, so. It says, Chris, be elite, which is awesome. Nick Jackson and Matt Jackson. My joke that I always say, some people may agree with me here, like on Being the Elite and in Q&As and things, that Matt Jackson always looks absolutely shattered. He looks so tired all the time. And Nick always just looks, you know, coked out his nut. He just looks high all the time. I don't know if he is or isn't, but and this picture kind of shows that off, and Matt's about to go to sleep. Nick's loving life. But, you know, you see these characters on Being the Elite and stuff, and you kind of think, at least I've kind of got the feeling recently that, you know, that they may be getting a bit too big for their boots, you know. They're making a lot of money. They don't need to go in WWE. They're living an amazing life. They're selling out 10,000 seat arenas and stuff. That's great. Oh, I just moved the camera. They're fine, you know, like the Bullet Club. They're fine. They don't need to do anything, you know, and I think that was kind of getting to them a little bit. But then that's just their characters, of course, because they're playing, you know, the elite of the Bullet Club. They're playing like VIPs or whatever. But when I met them, they were so lovely, like so down to earth. You didn't get that impression whatsoever. And, you know, I was kind of talking to them as well. I've got to the point now where I'm a much more confident human than I was before. So, like, for example, when I posted that video about watching my old YouTube videos, I showed the clip of me meeting Cody Rhodes, Ted DiBiase and Drew McIntyre 8 years ago. 8 years, unbelievable. I met them in 2010 and I just wasn't saying anything. I was nervous. I was like, you know, it's an autograph signing, you shake the hand, you get your stuff signed, you move along. But now that I'm, I guess, I'm a much more confident human and a much more confident person, I was able to just chat to them as normal people, which was very good. And I was telling them that, you know, I love Being the Elite and they've got how many millions of YouTube subscribers or whatever. And I told them, well, my YouTube channel just reached 1,000 subscribers. And Matt was like, oh, congratulations and things like that. And he was just saying, it's really hard to get those viewers and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I know, I've known it for a long time. And Nick was saying, oh, the trick is just to keep going, producing new content, things like that, and eventually it'll all happen. And I started telling them about my time at college. I was like, I went to college, I stopped for a while, I've just started back recently. I was just chatting to them and telling them my story of going to college and trying to get 1,000 subscribers. So it was good, it was not rushed, they were just sitting chatting, they were laughing away and stuff, posed for a picture, shook their hands again, and off I went and had a great experience meeting the Young Bucks and went into the ROH Honor United show. Which, by the way, the show was great, and as I said earlier on, you know, it is like a changed product, ROH, you know, back in the day when it was like Davey Richards and Roderick Strong and all these people sort of main eventing, Kevin Steen and all that nonsense. That's kind of when I loved ROH the most, I suppose. I was watching every week and stuff. I'm very guilty that I don't watch as often as I should now, because there's just so much wrestling to watch anyway. That's like WWE's little trick. Put so much out there that you can't watch anything else. It was nice to see the show because I hadn't seen ROH live ever before, and it was a different type of wrestling, you know. We were 4th row, which was really good. It wasn't a big place anyway, so it's not as if we would be further back. It would have mattered, but we were 4th row, which was really good. I would love to have been front row so you can hit the barricades. That's like a trademark of ROH. And we forgot to buy streamers, which ended up being fine because only one person brought streamers in the whole place. But I've always wanted to do that. I've always, if you're watching the pay-per-views or whatever, I've always thought, who would I throw the streamers at or whatever. And I will do that one day. Sure, if I go to an ROH show in America where the streamers are more prominent, and there's not just one guy throwing a red streamer, it's not going to be as awkward, I suppose. It was nice to have a seat, which is odd to say, because I obviously go to ICW quite often, my home promotion, which is all standing. So it was nice to sit and watch an indie show that close to the ring with a seat, which is really cool. Main event was Cody and Hangman Page versus the Briscoes for the tag titles. Really good match. The Briscoes retained. This show, by the way, is available to watch on Honor Club, which is ROH's WWE network. So I don't have it, sadly, but I mean, I guess I could buy it soon. But yeah, Honor Club is where you can find the show. I'm sure it'll be on YouTube at some point. But yeah, that was the main event. We had the Young Bucks versus Nick Aldis, Magnus, and Mark Haskins, a guy I used to follow from Dragon Gate a while ago. Who I always liked. Nice to see him again. However, he's far too serious. And the Bucks stole the show, as I thought they would. Their match was great. Best match of the night, I think. There was a comedy match with a Japanese guy, I can't remember his name, teamed with Delirious against the boys, Dalton Castle's boys, and it was hilarious. Ridiculous match. I had no idea what I was watching. ICW's own Joe Hendry challenged Silas Young for the TV title. Really good match as well. The crowd were really into Joe Hendry. He is from Edinburgh, so it was good. And there was some, ICW chants and stuff, so that was kind of good to see that. We all knew Joe Hendry. It wasn't just, let's cheer for the local guy. We did know who he was, And he had a great match. Gave him a nice big standing ovation at the end. He did really well. I hope he gets signed. He deserves it. And also we had a big six-man tag. It was the Kingdom, Matt Taven and the Kingdom versus Jay Lethal, Dalton Castle and Hiroshi Tanahashi, which was mad seeing Tanahashi live. But it was, it was cool. We saw Bad Influence, Kaz and Daniels versus Evil and Sanada. We had Punishment Martinez versus Kenny King, which was a really good match actually, a total sleeper. And a funny story to tell you before I leave you all, I was with my mate Fraser. Shout out to Fraser. Love you, brother. He was just standing with a glass of Iron Brew while I was at the toilet. And he was just waiting for me to come out the toilet and go back to our seat at the interval. And one Kenny King, ROH wrestler, TNA, former X Division champion, Kenny King, comes up to Fraser and just says, if they sell Copperberg here? Fraser was like, I have no idea, realising it was Kenny King he was speaking to. Kenny King was like, what are you drinking? Fraser was like, Iron Brew. And Kenny King was like, oh yeah, great Iron Brew, I'm going to get that right now. And Kenny King went and got a glass of Iron Brew. There's a funny story. So we just kind of chilled there, hoping we'd see somebody else. And Cody just walked by. He was taking pictures with folk. Christopher Daniels was there taking pictures with folk. I was lucky enough to get a picture with the Young Bucks earlier on, as I said. So, yeah, overall great experience. Would definitely recommend going to a show. Very happy that I spent the money on it, because obviously it was a long week for me and it was a busy week, and I kind of have to save my money. But I was recently getting paid for an acting job, so I know I had the money to spend and to spare on the show. I don't regret it in the slightest. It was a great night, and great to meet the Young Bucks, guys I idolise and look up to, I suppose, in terms of to be a YouTuber, and just being great wrestlers as well, and just seeing these great wrestlers, seeing Cody Rhodes, hearing his theme song, hearing the Bullet Club song live was great. Seeing Tanahashi, Jay Lethal, it was a really good experience. So check it out on Honor Club if you have that. And I'll look forward to going back to ROH very soon. Hopefully they'll be back next year, and hopefully they'll come to Glasgow. That'd be much better. But there you go. There's my 8x10 again. Chris, be elite. I'll try, and I hope everybody else out there is feeling elite. Because I certainly am, and I'm going to chill for the next few days because I've had a busy week. Until next time, folks, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you like what you see for all the new content. Leave a comment if you want to say something. Like the video, and you can follow me on Twitter at Cm42TV. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Please have a very good day. Peace!